Everyone is doing good. Hello, Chloe. Hello.
Hi, welcome. We'll just start in a couple of minutes. We're waiting for more students, so enjoy the music.
Okay. We'll just give it a couple seconds and then we'll get started. I don't know if you guys could hear me a while ago, but welcome everyone. Thank you for coming.
We hope that you enjoyed today's presentation. Just to let you guys know, by the end of the presentation, we would like to take a picture. So we encourage you to turn on your cameras by the end of the meeting if you would like, or by now if you feel comfortable. So
Yeah.
let's start this presentation.
Yes. So let me share my screen. Okay. Well, hello everyone. Oh, the presentation is still loading, but hello everyone. Welcome to our seminar called Note Taking. We appreciate you all coming to our seminar. My name is Mari. I am one of the FY peer mentors, and I'm here with my partner.
Hi everyone, my name is Anna, and today we'll be talking about note taking.
Yes. So if any questions comes up or any comments, you can, put it in the chat and then we'll look at those questions as soon as possible. So Anna?
So today we'll be seeing what is note taking, what are the benefits of note taking, the different types of note taking, some recommended apps from your hostess, and some tips also. So Mary, let's start with what is note taking.
Yes. So, what is note taking? So, note taking is the practice of writing down information from a source or sometimes a pieces or whole portions to grasp the major understanding of the source. Personally, note taking helps me a lot, when it comes to concentrating, and also it helps me deepen my understanding. As a nursing major, we have to memorize a lot of things. We need to remember a lot of functions, all basically how our body works. So it's a lot of things to remember. So note taking, it definitely helps me a lot to kind of look back at it, review some things that I'm having trouble with, and maybe in the future I could just look back at it again, because I know sometimes some topics can come back and I'm just like, I don't remember this. So now I have my notes to look back. And Anna will talk about more benefits.
Thanks, Mary. So as Mary said, she has a different benefit than most of you. I just want to let everyone know that you may have different benefits of taking notes than your partners or classmates. So it's okay. Everyone is different, and that's pretty much good. So some benefits are enhanced memory, more personal or meaningful to you, thus helping you to retain information, maintain focus, keep you alert, emphasizes, organize information, and many more. If you have a different benefit, that's okay. You will probably see some of your benefits here on the presentation. So let's change and see what are the different types of note taking.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about some different types of note taking. So the first one, this one, I'm guessing, I can't speak for everyone, but this one is one of the popular ones that I've seen. This is the Cornell style. So in high school, in English class, or if you took Avid class, you probably learn about the Cornell style. So basically, the Cornell style is where you create two columns, and the left side is where you put keywords and questions that you have about that subject or topic. And then on the right side, you write the main idea, the major points, explanations, some examples, or more details about it. And then usually at the end of your notes, you write a conclusion of everything that you learned and just like basically a summary of everything that you wrote down in that notes. Next one is the outline. So this one is also another popular one. This is the one that I use a lot. So basically, you just use Roman numerals or capital letters or Arabic numerals or some different symbols like the dash line or the dot. Basically, you use those to either label a main topic or main ideas, or for more related details or some examples. And you can see, some examples here in the presentation. The next one is we have the mind maps. So basically, the mind map, you put the main idea in the middle and you use some arrows or arrange the idea so that more important ideas are closer to the center. And then you can kind of show the relationship ship between those topics by using some arrows. So here's some examples for that. And then Anna will talk more about different types of note taking.
Thanks, Mary. So paraphrasing is making short yet conscious sentences of information. So we probably have use paraphrasing every single time we go to class because professors tend to talk too fast and you don't want to miss any important information that might come into your exams or final exams. So paraphrasing helps you take down notes when professors talk really fast. So probably the majority of us have used paraphrasing during classes. Highlighting, using colors to emphasize important information. We tend to use this to emphasize important information, and we tend to use different colors to summarize either titles or definitions and examples, and we tend to use different kind of colors while we use highlighting. Shorthanded, using abbreviated symbols that increase speed and variety of writing. On the next slide, we will show you on the big image. This is an example that you could use, but you can use your own, create your own symbols. You don't have to follow these kind of examples. It's just for you to check it out and see if that's interest you to speed up your writing when you're in class or for your personal notes.
Yes,
So
thank you, Anna. Yeah, and also I kind of want to piggyback to the paraphrasing one. So I feel like with paraphrasing, it's really important because we're in college and plagiarism is a big deal. So I feel like us paraphrasing some stuff, it kind of helps us making sure that we don't copy off some internet or some books and we don't get plagiarized for it. So I feel like this is a good step, to kind of practice making, to make it easier to paraphrase some articles and books like that. So, yeah. And let's see. Yeah, so you all have much to learn. You still have, but Anna has a question for you all.
so which note-taking method do you use? You can
Yes.
put it on the chat or you can speak up. We will give you a few minutes.
Yeah, so it's either which note taking method do you use, or if you don't use any of those note taking, let us know what you do. Or, if you don't take notes, which one are you interested in using? So
The
let's see.
majority is speaking outline, Mary.
Nice.
Ryan. Write and set outline and mind maps. Oh, we have our first Cornell by Ruben.
Yes. Yeah. Nice. We have a lot of outline in Cornell, mind maps, and outline. I feel like for mind maps, a lot of people use mind maps if they're a visual learner. They got I've seen that mostly just because it's easier for them to kind of like, okay, disconnect to here to that. And yeah, I feel like they're really creative when it comes to my maps. I'm not creative. I feel like I'm a perfectionist when it comes to my maps. But yeah, let's see. Let's wait for everyone. Is that everyone in the chat? Did everyone answer the questions?
10 more seconds.
What about you, Anna? What note taking do you use?
I believe paraphrasing and highlighting is the ones that I use.
Yes, I have a lot of highlighting stuff because I have so much stuff. Well, thank you for everyone, for participating. Okay, now we're gonna move on. So we're gonna talk about some apps. We do want to let you all know that the following apps or outside resources was compiled from suggestions of Southwestern students. Just remember that FYE is not endorsing any of these resources, nor do we guarantee that they will continue to be available. So Anna, show us some of your apps that you recommend.
Thank you, Mary. So I know that a lot of you might take notes in paper or so on your iPad. So for the iPad people, I recommend ColaNote. ColaNote is like GoodNotes, but it's free. I really use it every single time for my class notes. And it's free and it's available on the App Store. For the people that have Samsung tablets, the app is gonna be soon. I don't know when, but they are working on it. But for now, it's on the Apple Store. Every single information that we will be giving to you guys, we will be posting it on Google Docs on the chat by the end of the presentations. So I also recommend YouTube when taking notes on your house. I recommend hearing Luffy music that really helps me concentrate and understanding better what I'm writing on my notes. You can play a little bit for that, Mary, so they can understand what Luffy music is.
Yes. So as you can see, here are some examples of that lofi music, and there's a lot of different ones that you can use.
Yeah. And lastly, I recommend Office 365. Office 365 is free for you guys with your SWC email. You just have to follow the steps that are available on the page. And you can use OneNote, Word, and all the apps that are part of Office 365.
Yes, so for this you have to be a registered student. So hope that's basically everyone, right? Yes. Okay. Now for my apps, let's move on to mine. For me, I have that's too much. For me, I have the Notion. So Notion, if you're not familiar, it's basically kind of you're able to create your own study space where you can put all of your stuff that you need for school or outside of school. So for Notion, you can also take notes here. So as you can see, I put all of my notes here and it's called study headquarters, and I put all of my assignments and notes here. And I also divide them by the classes that I'm taking. So this is something that you can do. It looks like Canvas. So I guess you can create your own, Canvas study space. So that's, I know this is my own, this template that I have. I only got this from YouTuber that I watch, but you can create your own, or you can find some, inspiration online. Next that I'm gonna be talking about is Pomodoro. So Pomodoro, basically, it's, while taking notes, you time yourself. So basically, you take notes for 30 minutes and then give yourself like 5 to 10 minutes of break. It's really important to give yourself some break because you don't want to stress yourself too much with, all that writing. And also, I know your hand is probably gonna hurt from typing and from writing. So give yourself some break in between, your note taking. The one that you can use on your phone is the Focus Keeper. That's the one that I use. There's also the Planty. So basically, every time you're able to, accomplish your 30 minutes and take a break and another 30 minutes, you're slowly growing a plant. So if you ruin that routine, or you don't follow through your Pomodoro, then that plant will die. So at the end, it's sad to see your plant die. So it kind of motivates me to, like, okay, I'm gonna take care of my plants. But also, you can just use your regular clock, or your clock app on your phone. You can just, put the timer, study for 30 minutes, and then give yourself a break afterwards. Next one I have is the Life at that IO. This is also like a study space. So if you like to have some background music or background to kind of motivate you to study, this is what it looks like. So basically, I have a second monitor, so I put that in my second one, and I just have that in the background while I'm taking notes. It feels like, it makes me motivated. I don't know what's about it. I don't know why it makes me really motivated when it comes to taking notes, but they have a lot of different ones. They have um, cafe. You can also put your own music here. There's some background noise too. And there's also Pomodoro here. So you can see there's Pomodoro, short break, and long break. So that is the Life at that IO. And like what Anna said, we have all of this link and information in the Google Docs that we'll be sending. And then now we have another question for you all. So let's wait for this presentation to load. Okay, so what apps do you use for note taking? So if there's some apps that we didn't talk about and that, you think it's pretty good and that you recommend, let us know. And if you don't use any apps, and if there's an app that you're interested in using, let us know which one.
Oh, they say Seth says Google Docs. Yes, Google Docs are awesome. Cassandra says Notability, and Melanie says Word. Yes. Who doesn't use Word?
Yes.
Good notes. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I've used Notability since middle school, but since because in high school they gave us an iPad, a loaner, iPad, so we use Notability a lot, and I loved it. But now I don't use it because I don't have an iPad. But GoodNotes, I've heard really good things about GoodNotes.
Yeah, it's a popular app.
Yeah, Jessica, she said I love Notability in middle school. Yes, I remember all of my stuff in that Notability. Okay, Ruben said, I don't really use any. Well, are you interested in using any of the ones that we talk about, just to test it out?
Or are you a paper person?
Yeah, because I know when paper person, yeah. Let's see.
Paper.
Paper. Yeah, I'm also a paper person, but I use that that at life at that IO to have it in the background. And as you can see, I don't know if you guys can see because of my background, but I have a binder full of my notes. I'm a paper person. Yes. Let's see, let's give some couple minutes for other students to put in their answers. Okay. Well, Like I said, let's see. Itself for paper people, a rocky book notebook might be a good idea. Oh, erase some
Oh,
notes that
yeah,
you
I
can
have
do.
seen that. It's pretty
I,
awesome.
yes, I've seen that. Ooh,
Thanks
yeah,
for the recommendation itself.
yeah. Well, I'll definitely check that out. I think I've seen it on TikTok, and I've been trying to find it, but I unfortunately I can't. But I'll definitely check that out. Thank you, Itzel, for that. Jalen, paper or word thing. Yeah, I feel like word is the popular one here.
Yeah, it's the basic one.
Yes.
I use
Oh yes.
both. Oh,
I Mercedes, yes. I tried those. The voice to text on your notes, I tried that. And sometimes I get irritated because Siri or like my phone can't understand what I'm saying. So I'm just like, ugh. But
okay.
yeah, I feel like using that voice to text makes it really easier to take notes and faster. But yeah, well, thank you everyone for sharing your answers. Now we're gonna move on for some tips. I don't know why it's moving too fast. Sorry about that. Okay, yeah. So tips from your mentors. Anna, why don't you share us some of your tips?
Of course. So I use paper and an iPad to take my notes. Just just to let you know, use whatever you feel comfortable. I know that some professors allow iPads and technology on class, but I have other professors that don't allow them and prefer you to take notes in paper. So you could use my tips for both options. So you could use cards to summarize every single thing you remember for your notes. And it's a really good option for starting for your exams, quizzes, or even finals. Look for inspiration. Who doesn't here have check out Pinterest and saw these beautiful notes and wanted to be like that? Another tip for that is practice. Practice makes perfection, and uh, that's a really good tip that I usually do every single weekend. Practice and practice my notes. Also, don't pressure yourselves to do it perfect. Don't compare your notes of your classmates or your friends. Everyone is different, the, and if you understand your notes, that's the only thing that has to matter. Your notes doesn't have to be understood by other people, by your classmates or your friends. And always use what makes you comfortable. If you're comfortable taking notes on your iPad, use that. If you're comfortable taking notes on paper, use that. Or if you're comfortable taking notes on your computer, then use that. So, Mary, let's check out my examples that I have for my notes.
Yes.
So, my notes from the left are the ones that I do on my own time. I summarize every single chapter that I have seen during my classes, and the one that's on the right is the notes that I take during class. As you can see, the one that is on the right is paraphrase, and that's something that really works for me because I want to summarize every single thing that the professor has said, and I want to make understandable to me. So, Mary, let's hear what you have to say.
Yes. For my tips, I would recommend, color coding. I feel like it's easier to locate some important information by color coding it. This can kind of relate to the book you're probably reading. So I know for some people it's hard to write on their notebook or their book. I meant it's hard to write on the book because the book is so clean. But what I use is tabs. I use the color tabs and tab some information because I know sometimes you'll have to take notes from there and also write summary. So I feel like color coding is an important thing. And also it's it looks good when you look at your notes when there's some colors in it. I don't know if you can see, it's, a little bit small, but there's some colors here. I like to color code some of my class. So for example, like my history class is red, and my math class is blue, and it's easier for me to kind of remember, like, okay, this notebook is for this class, and no, this notebook is for this. And then I also color code like each subject, so it's easier for me to remember. Next, rewrite or retype your notes. So if you have time, some free time, and you want to study more for your class, I would recommend, rewrite or retype your notes. Personally, it helps me a lot remember everything. It's like me reviewing everything all over again, and it helps me remember where I write that specific information, because usually on exams I'm like, okay, I remember writing this, I put a box in it, I highlighted it, I highlight, oh my goodness, I can't talk, highlighted it, there you go. So yeah, it's, rewrite your notes or retype your notes. Next, use whiteboards. With this kind of relate to the next tip that I have, which is teach someone. So I use my whiteboard to kind of like write down everything that I learned, and then kind of compare it to my notes and see which one I miss, and just kind of compare which one I got wrong. And then I use this whiteboard to teach someone else, or I teach my dog, because at least with my dog, she doesn't talk back and correct me with all the things that I got wrong. But I just pretend that I'm teaching a whole class, and it helps me remember everything that I learned. And then also, it's really important to have a good time management, because note taking, it takes a lot of time. So make sure what I do, it kind of relates to what Anna do, is I take notes during class, and it's sometimes it can be messy, it's paraphrasing, and then after class I retype my notes and put more information about it, the things that I miss, I look through the book and add more information to my notes. So yeah, make sure you have good time management. Now, here's some examples. So as you can see here, we have like the outline note taking. And also here, this is also kind of like an outline, but also I added some pictures and drawings in it. This one is a study guide. I know some professor gives you study guide. What I usually do after taking notes is put all of the notes into my study guide and just list out everything that's related to the question. And then here's some drawings and also some, PowerPoints. So I know some professor gives out PowerPoints too. So what I do is I print it out, make sure to put the lines, the note. This one is like specifically for note taking. You'll see it in the Word app, but yeah, you can take notes for that. And that is some of my examples. And that's it. Does anyone have any questions, comments? You can type in the chat. Oh my goodness, what is happening to my mouse? Okay. Does anyone have any questions, concerns?
Comments?
Let's see, everyone. Well, if anyone doesn't have any questions, Anna, did you put the Google Docs in the chat?
Yeah, I will post it again.
Okay, sounds good. So in that Google Docs, you'll see all the apps that we have, that we talked about. You can look at it during your free time, and also underneath you'll see some reminders. So just a quick reminder that your book or your supply voucher, it ends on April 1st. But as you all know, next week is spring break, so campus is going to be closed. So technically the last day to use it is this week. So make sure use that money, buy what you need, buy books, because I know some fast track classes is starting up soon. So, make sure to check out what textbook you need for that class. And also, you'll see the progress support is also in there. So we sent out an email today about the progress support that is due on April 28th. So get started with, your progress support. Don't wait till later on. So make
It
sure to,
will just take you like 5 minutes to fill it out. It will not take you a long time.
yes. And then let's see, we also have groceries on a dime um, happening tomorrow. That's hosted by Javon and Becca. That's happening at 12. Let's see what's set. The progress report is due on the 28th. And then we also have the Men of Color discussion. So make sure to check that out. Okay, that you'll be getting $100 for participating in the Men of Color discussions. So make sure to check that out.
Also, guys, remember to submit your workshop summary. You can find it on the FYE Canvas. You just have to write out the title of the workshop, our names, the department that we are part of, and your summary of 100 to 200 words.
So the progress report is not available on my Canvas. So I'm guessing it's still not on Canvas, but if you check out the Google Docs that we sent, the link should be there. Let me send it to you right now.
I already posted it.
Okay, thank you, Anna. And so, and also just a quick reminder that make sure to schedule your counseling appointment. So if you don't know how to do that, our contact information is also in the Google Doc. So you can either call us or join, enter our lobby to schedule your appointment. And you can also email us. Your counseling appointment is due this Friday. So if you haven't done so, schedule your appointment and meet with your counselor. I would say, do it as soon as possible because next month, we're going to start registering for classes again. So it's important to know what classes you need for next semester and also for summer. And you can also take a picture of this. This is all of our information. Check out our Instagram.
And remember, guys, next week is going to be spring break, so take care of yourself. Southwestern College will be closed. So if you have any questions or you have to fix something up regarding your paperwork, do it before Friday or by Friday. And because after that, everything will be closed.
Yes. Yeah. So right now, what we want is for if you are comfortable, please turn on your camera so we can take a picture. And we'll wait for everyone to turn on their camera.